everybody, welcome back to another episode of Rachel's Page Turners. I'm not wearing my glasses today. I have this light thing going and I just didn't feel like fighting with the glare today. I have places to be. And this is going to be a wicked long video. So I did a poll on Twitter. I'm like, hey, so I got this giant book haul. It's about 60 plus items from BookCon and BEA. How should I do this video? Should I just do one giant video? Should I break it up? 6 people voted. Thank you to those 6 people. But you guys voted for me to do this giant video. So on your head, so be it. I am going to try to compromise a little bit. I am going to do this video in parts. And I'm going to try to list when each part starts down in the description box below. That way you can leave and come back to the video at your heart's content. So if you don't have time for the 30-minute video, you don't actually have to stay for the full 30-minute video. But let's get started, because I don't want this to actually be a 30-minute video. I actually have to go to work in 20 minutes. So I'm going to start with the books that I got signed at BEA and BookCon. What I should do really is cut it up into BEA haul and BookCon haul. The way I packed everything on the way home, I couldn't tell you what I got at BEA and what I got at BookCon. Oh well. One of the first things I am showing you today is The Burning Girl. Kind of hope I'm in frame. I still haven't gotten my front camera fixed yet, so we're just gonna hope that I'm in frame. It's The Burning Girl, a novel by Claire Massoud. I went to this author breakfast for the first day of BEA, at least the first day I was actually at BEA, and I was disappointed in the breakfast, actually. I bought this ticket specifically to see Stephen King speak. I thought it would be more of a Q&A type thing. It was not. They kind of broke it up as this author speaks and then the next author speaks. They had speeches already set up, which is fine. But Stephen King spoke for maybe a total of 5 minutes and then he left. He didn't even stay like the other authors did. And because I was late trying to get my autograph tickets, I only got maybe 2 minutes of what he said. I also almost didn't get breakfast and I paid for breakfast. So this breakfast thing was a waste of money. I'll never do it again. But back to the things I'm showing you. The breakfast thing gave out a bunch of ARCs. Stephen King did not give any ARCs. In fact, he didn't even sign anything either, which is fine, I guess. I got a little pamphlet advertising his and his son's book, and it's fine if they didn't give me a full ARC, but at least, sign the little pamphlet, because everyone bought the ticket for Stephen King. All right, enough being salty. This is one of the ARCs that they gave out. This wasn't signed. I just grabbed it at my table. Everyone got a stack of ARCs, even if you didn't pay for breakfast at the table. In the auditorium type seating area, you still got books. I ended up getting this signed because Claire Massoud did an in-booth signing later in the day, so I was able to get it signed. Next thing I have to show you is There's Someone Inside Your House by Stephanie Perkins. She also did an in-booth signing. I'm kind of bummed that this isn't a full ARC or a full galley or whatever word you like to use. This is actually a partial reading copy. So this is really just so I can have her signature as part of my collection. I'm not really going to describe what each book is about, because honestly, ain't nobody got time for that. Next thing I have to show you is Amy Tan, Where the Past Begins. It's also a little sampler, not a full copy. She also did an in-booth signing. I actually have never read any of Amy Tan's work. I just see her name a lot at work. And so I was curious to pick this up. I was kind of hoping it was a full galley, but after waiting in line, when I saw what it was, I was like, well, I'm here now. This thing I have to show you is Clicked by Tamara Ireland Stone. Finally, we have a full thing, a full ARC. She wrote a little message as well for Rachel, happy clicking. This looks like to be a YA thing about maybe an online romance. Not entirely sure on that. The next thing wasn't an in-booth signing. I guess during BEA in the autograph area, not everything in there was ticketed, which I kind of wish they did that for BookCon. BookCon, like the in-booth signings were really crazy. If it wasn't ticketed, they really should have had the big name people in the autograph area because that area was designed to actually hold a bunch of crowds. Next thing I have to show you is The Witch Boy. This person did it, Molly Ostertag. This person did a non-ticketed autographing thing in the autograph area. And she took the time to draw something in every book, which I thought was very sweet. It took up a bunch of time because she like would hand draw this for every person and she'd use that opportunity to talk to people. So I thought it was incredibly nice. Probably not the most time efficient thing for this type of convention, but I loved that she did that, so I'm not really complaining about it. This next book I kind of got on a whim. He didn't have a line at all, which is a shame because this book sounds pretty interesting. Beast Made of Night by Toki. I'm gonna try, and if I'm butchering your name, I'm very sorry. Onibuki. Sorry. From what I understand, this is actually like a fantasy type read. And I love fantasy, so I really want to read it. I ran up, got his autograph. They were doing a galley drop, and people were just coming and going. There wasn't any line, and I kind of felt bad the fact that he did not have a line. I think this is his debut novel. At least I'm pretty sure, because no one knew who he was. At least the people that I talked to didn't know who he was. Let me correct that statement. Next item I got is Dogman, A Tale of Two Kitties by Dave Pilkey. I thought it was Dav Pilkey because they didn't have the E, but I guess it's Dave. Someone corrected me when I was trying to pronounce his name in line. He signed it. This is an arc of the next children's comic book series. I actually got his autograph ticket for BookCon, but he was doing an in-booth signing. Was it in booth or was it in the autograph area? I just know I didn't need a ticket, and I was like, you know what? I have stuff to do during BookCon, so I'm going to get his thing now. I ended up giving away his ticket. Thing is though, when I gave away the ticket, it was a little on the sketchy side. I emailed it to the person, but the person never responded whether or not they got it. So I'm a little scared that maybe they used that information on the ticket to get back, to take some of my identity. I don't know. I kind of hope that this was harmless. By the way, I also got a second one that I had signed to Dogman. He's actually Bunny's boyfriend, and Bunny is Graveyard Girl from YouTube, if you're not familiar. And when I had him to sign it to Dogman, because I plan on sending a couple of things to Bunny's fan box, it's like, oh, you know and the person who goes, oh, you know Dogman? She totally saw through what I was doing. I'm like, yep, totally know Dogman. The next thing is actually a sampler I got at the breakfast. This is Endurance by Scott Kelly. He is the astronaut that spent a year in space. He actually gave us something signed. Everyone just gave ARCs, but he actually took the time to sign something, so you go, Scott Kelly. The next book is the book I actually talked about in one of my vlog videos. It's the BEA vlog that I posted. I was saying, oh, so I went to this signing thinking that, oh, it's her debut novel. No one's going to know who she is, but she actually had a giant line, and I ended up missing James Patterson. It's okay. I've never read any of James Patterson's stuff. Again, I just recognize his name from all the stuff I put away at work. So I was curious to get whatever he was giving out, but that's fine. This is a fantasy novel, so I think I would rather have read this anyways, because James Patterson tends to be mystery, and I prefer fantasy. And she also drew a little circus thing, which I thought was very cute. This is Rachel, welcome to the Festival of Burning Desires. That I thought was very cute, that she added a little tidbit from the story. Oh, sorry, Amanda. The next item that I have to show you that's signed is The Girl with the Red Balloon by Catherine Locke. I grabbed this on a whim while I was waiting in line for something else, or at least I was going to something else, because I definitely don't remember actually waiting in line for this. I just saw The Girl with the Red Balloon. That sounds very cute. I think this is a romance. I think this is a historical romance because it takes place on a class trip to Germany visiting the Berlin Wall Memorial. Oh, is it the memorial? I thought it... Oh yeah, the wall is still standing. Yeah, suddenly it's 1988 and Ellie is in East Berlin. So yes, it is a historical thing. To Rachel, be a sponge. I don't know what that means. Alright, the next thing I have to show you is As You Wish by Chelsea Sidoti. Not gonna lie, I grabbed it because the title reminded me of The Princess Bride. I think this is a contemporary romance, but the author also added her own little touch to her signature. She wrote her name in a little peace sign. So I gotta leave in 5 minutes. I'm only halfway through my signed books. So I'm gonna finish the stack, and I guess I'll finish the rest of it another time. Alright, the next thing I have to show you is I'm Just No Good at Rhyming and Other Nonsense for Mischievous Kids and Immature Grown-Ups by Chris Harris. I want to say this is the author that was also with Lemony Snicket and Neil Patrick Harris. Because it was really funny. After these three guys did a panel right before the signing, I went to Neil Patrick Harris first and then to Lemony Snicket. I'm like, oh, there's still time left, and this third guy in the way back has nobody in that line. So I ran over to get his signature. Felt kind of bad. Neil Patrick Harris obviously had a line that like wrapped around. Lemony Snicket also had a pretty decent line, and then there was nobody for Chris Harris. And he was funny. Like, the guy was a joy to talk to. So I'm very much looking forward to reading this. The next thing I have to show you is Mary McScary by R.L. Stine, illustrated by Mark Brown. If you're not familiar who Mark Brown is, he is the guy who created Author. And obviously R.L. Stine, the author to Goosebumps. I found it very cool that they got together to create this little children's book. Author and Goosebumps is just my childhood, and so I had to get this when they were signing it. I grabbed this because everyone was talking about it. I bought the book. I got the ticket associated with the book. And it's She Persisted by Chelsea Clinton. I was actually more interested in going to the evening event with her mother, but she sold out super fast. There was no chance of me getting in. But this looked to be very cute. Inspired by Senator Elizabeth Warren and in celebration of all women who persist every day. And as a feminist, I really wanted to read this. I wanted to have this on my shelf. The next thing I have is The Girl Who Ran by Bobby Gibb. I thought her name was something else. But she is the first woman to have run the Boston Marathon. Like, for Rachel, yay Boston Marathon, lovely meeting you. She was just a very sweet woman, and I loved that she pretty much set the standard for like women to come to like running this race. And I guess the last book I'm showing you today, because I really need to leave now, is The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. And I actually bought this through like the Books for Trade thing that was happening through the BookCon app. A lovely woman was like, so I have this second book and I would like to sell it. And it's not an ARC, so she was within her rights to sell it. She asked for $30, which I thought that was a decent price considering the book is worth $15 to $20, so she only asked for like double the price of the book. And the fact that she like waited in line for $15, I was like, okay. And of course, I really wanted to get this signed when I was there, and I couldn't get in that line, and so I'm really excited to have this, and I don't care that I spent money on this. Alright, so one or two things are going to happen. I'm either going to film again and just tack that to the rest of this video, or I'm ending it here and bollocks to the poll that I created on Twitter, because honestly, yikes. Alright, so hi everybody, it is now a new day and we're just going to continue on with my BEA and BookCon haul. I originally planned on just filming this when I had another like late day, but my new shelves just came in, and I just really wanted to like stack these shelves and fill them, and so we're filming as I'm out of work. It's a super humid day, so my hair probably looks absolutely fantastic. And we're just going to tolerate this beautiful lighting, and we're just gonna get on with the haul. Alright, so I left it to where I did half of the signed books, so we're gonna do the second half. Alright, this top thing right here is The Queen of the Blood by Sarah Beth Durst. This is actually one of the authors that was in the VIP lounge. If you're VIP on each day at BookCon, they had a VIP author down there and sign a book for you I didn't recognize this author. I went on her Twitter page and she didn't have a whole lot of followers, so I don't know if she's a well-known author. I'm interested to read this because it is an epic fantasy, at least that's what it says on the spine here. I don't like these little pocket books. I just don't like the look of them. I mean, it's a free book. I really shouldn't complain. Next item is actually, I was so excited to get this. I'm sitting in line waiting for VIP to let us in, and then as I'm looking through the day's stuff, like the day schedule, I realize Matt Phelan, who's like one of the authors that's signing in the booth, where you can get an autograph ticket. He's the author that wrote Snow White, the graphic novel that I bought when I went on this comic book run with Thoughts on Tomes and a couple other booktubers when we went to the Boston Book Festival, the Teen Festival, rather, excuse me. And of course I was like, oh my god, I wish I knew, I wish I like registered that who this person was, because I would have brought my book to have signed. Thankfully, I was able to get a ticket and he was signing these off for free, so I didn't have to buy a second one. And for those who don't know, Snow White is my favorite Disney princess, only because when I was younger, it's like, she looks like me. And that's the only reason why I love Snow White, so I like wore my VHS tape down, watched it all the time. And now obviously I have like a very nostalgic love for Snow White. I think this retelling is rather cool. I haven't read it yet, but this is more like a film noir kind of retelling, like Snow White set in the 1920s. I'm really excited to read this. And he actually did a very cool signature, kind of like drew a little something. Next item that I have to show you is Warcross by Marie Lu. I was able to get this signed. She had a massive line, like everyone wanted this freaking book. But thankfully I was able to get this during BE8, so I didn't have to wait in the BookCon line, because oh my goodness, there's no chance I was going to get this book during BookCon. I don't even know what's it about. I want to say it's kind of like a video game-esque type of read, like Ready Player One, but I don't know anything about it. Like the gaming aspect alone is what drew me in. I just can't believe how popular this book was. Alright, the next book I have to show you is All the Crooked Saints by Maggie Stiefvater. I actually had this signed during BEA. I made sure to get all the big name people during BEA. BookCon, yeah, that it was not happening. Did a nice quick little signature. I wanted to grab this book because I actually enjoyed that Raven Boy series. Like, I only read like either the first one or the second one, but I enjoyed it enough to where I want to read other stuff by her. And this next item was what I was super excited for as soon as I heard about it. Like, I really wanted to grab this at either BA or BookCon, and it is Leigh Bardugo's Wonder Woman. You're not going to believe what happened in that freaking line. I showed up over an hour early to be in line for Wonder Woman, and I saw like an unofficial line was starting in the back, and as we're lining up, we were told that our line isn't official and they're not gonna honor it. But this time there's already like 100+ people in this line, and there's this other girl. Her name also was Rachel. She made quite a stink about it. It's like, look, if I get hurt, this is totally your fault, and you not honoring this line, people are just gonna stampede towards where you want them to line up. So honestly, you should really just honor the line. And she won the person over, and our line was honored, and I was able to get the freaking ticket to get this signed. So thank you, Rachel. Rachel is awesome. In fact, she actually helped me get this next book, Roseblood by A.G. Howard. This actually isn't really a signed book. It just has a signed like little book plate in it. I went to the Owl Crate booth and I really wanted to get this. I wanted to read it because I love Phantom of the Opera, and as soon as I heard that this was a Phantom of the Opera retelling, I've been wanting to read this. And when I saw that they were possibly giving these out, if you spin their little wheel thing, you could win a prize, and I was really hoping that this would be the prize, but I didn't win it the first time around. I was like, well, that kind of sucks. Well, while we were waiting in line for Wonder Woman, both Rachel and I walked over to Owl Crate and to like spin the little wheel thing. I was like, all right, it's very possible that I won't win Roseblood. I'll just win whatever prize like last time. And Rachel goes, look, I actually want the Sarah J. Maas prints. If I win Roseblood and you win the Sarah J. Maas prints, we should actually just trade it. I'm like, yeah, sure, I'm up for that. And we each got what the other one wanted. So we made the trade and it worked out great. Alright, the next thing I have to show you is Ghost by Jason Reynolds. I know he's a very popular author. He had quite a bit of like autograph tickets available. Was he ticketed? I don't quite remember. But his line wasn't crazy, which is why I didn't mind waiting in line for it. From what I understand, he's a very popular author. I don't know anything about him. I want to say that he actually writes kidlit. Well, this next book here I actually bought. I bought Girling Up by Mayim Bialik. She's one of the actresses from The Big Bang Theory, if you're not familiar who she is. And I originally wasn't going to get this. I kind of had it in my mind that, alright, if I have to buy it, then I don't want it. But as I was walking away from Penguin Random House, my friend Ashley from Aspiring Ashley, you should check out her channel, she texted me saying, hey, they're selling the books to get signed. Okay, that's weird that they'll do it like the day before. Like this signing really wasn't supposed to happen until the second day of BookCon, but I bought this the first day. It's weird that they're doing it a full day. Maybe they're just trying to make things a little bit easier. And so I went over there to see what they were selling. I actually saw that they were selling the Sarah Dessen book. My mother-in-law wanted to get that signed, but I knew for a fact that my mother-in-law was all the way on the other side of the convention center and there was no way she was going to make it back in time to buy this book. So I went to buy it. And I was like, no, while I'm here, I might as well buy a couple of things. And this was one of them. And this sounds like this is going to be a fun read. The back basically says the science of being a girl, and then we have all these like really cool like taglines. I just love it how to be strong, smart, and spectacular. So this just sounds like a really awesome feminist read. She Persisted by Chelsea Clinton was also the other thing that I bought when I bought this book and the Sarah Dessen book. So this next book was the second thing that I really, really wanted to get while I was at BEA and BookCon. I actually got it at BookCon. When the autograph ticket things went live, I went straight for E. Lockhart because I really wanted We Were Liars signed. Turns out I didn't need to struggle with getting her ticket, which means I could have easily gotten a couple other people before everything sold out, but it's neither here nor there. I suppose I'll just be salty about it for the rest of my life. I guess if you're in VIP, the other author that was doing VIP signings down in the VIP lounge was E. Lockhart. And they didn't even announce it until like 3 or 4 days after the freaking website went live. And not gonna lie, the way they had it set up when you bought your VIP tickets, like you had a choice of an author. I mean, you could have chose like the list of authors that was arriving at BookCon. Like you could have gotten one of their autographs. They didn't really word it right on the website. Or I just simply misunderstood, and I'm easily confused. So we're just going to assume that if it's not BookCon's fault. Long story short, I know it's probably too late, but I got We Were Liars by E. Lockhart signed. She was actually signing the deluxe edition down in the VIP lounge, and so my goal was set. This was the only other thing that I wanted at BookCon that I wanted signed, and I got it. I love this book. I am a sucker for sad stuff, and I was going to say something else that might have been spoilery. Thankfully I stopped. I'm a sucker for sad reads, and I just freaking love this book. It's one of my favorites, so I'm really excited to have this signed. Oh, I spoke too soon. I was going to say I only wanted Wonder Woman and we Were Liars, but I lied. William Daniels, he was the other person I really wanted to meet at BookCon and BEA. I actually was able to meet him during BEA. I saw that he was going to be in the autograph area, to sign his book, and I kept asking him like, hey, how do I get tickets for that? How do I get tickets to that? Oh, he's not on the list, sorry. And then I find out through Ashley, oh, the authors in the ticket area aren't necessarily ticketed. So I had to walk around that area to see who's at the tables, and William Daniels was there. Just no one thought to tell me, oh, you don't actually need a ticket, you just have to show up. A lot of the workers weren't really informed, which is a huge problem that I had during BEA and BookCon. But this worked out. I got to meet him. I freaking love William Daniels. He's actually a very important member in my household, growing up, my sister and I freaking loved the musical 1776, and we watched that till the tape freaking died. But I got to meet Beanie! The next thing I have is Bill Nye's Everything All at Once. This was actually a book that I talked about in my BEA vlog, like while I was waiting in line for Warcross, I want to say it was. They were dropping this sign, baby, and yeah, that sounded weird, I'm sorry. They were dropping this, and I, of course, had to grab it because I really wanted his ticket as well, but he was sold out as soon as I got onto the website for BookCon, and I think this was just a stroke of luck. All right, I have 2 more signed books, and then we're just done for signed stuff. And the next thing I have is The Magic Misfits by Neil Patrick Harris. I still cannot believe I got his freaking autograph ticket during BEA. I figured he'd be sold out already because of the Avid Reader Pass thing. But he wasn't, and I got to meet him. I actually, I had to take my picture all psycho, stalker-like, since when I was in line, they weren't allowing pictures. But as I was waiting in line to meet Lemony Snicket afterwards, because the line was much shorter, they were allowing pictures, and I thought that wasn't cool, but I guess I'll always treasure me just quietly harassing poor Mr. Harris. And the last thing I have to show you for signed books is E. Lockhart's Genuine Fraud. She was doing an in-booth signing, and I got in line thinking we were liars. And then I saw she was actually dropping an ARC, and I got super excited for that. And so I really want to read this. I really enjoyed We Were Liars. I don't know anything about this, but I'm hearing some really, really cool things about this. I just love the little things that everyone's been talking about. There's just one particular line, too, that everyone keeps quoting. I don't have it here, but I'm very excited to read this. I have a ton of stuff that I'm very excited to read. Probably won't get to half of this year. Alright, so now we're going to talk about the ARCs that I grabbed simply because they were there. They're not signed, they were just freebies. Very cool, very awesome freebies. The first thing I see is Sing Unburied Sing by Jesmyn Ward. She was one of the authors that spoke at that author breakfast that I went to, and I thought she was very soft-spoken, which was surprising. Like all the other authors got super excited to be on stage, but she was very reserved. But even like the way she spoke, she was still very passionate about this book. I'm intrigued by her personality. I haven't read anything else by her, but just the way she presented herself, I'm very intrigued. Next thing I have here is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I did a books for trade thing through the BookCon app, and I had traded Fireblood. I don't remember the author's name, but I traded Fireblood for The Cruel Prince. I actually went to the, what's the publisher? I don't remember, and I don't see it listed. Has to be listed. Well, I went to the booth specifically to try to pick up The Cruel Prince, but when I got there, when I said the little code word, the Twitter page would give out this code word or code phrase that you're supposed to say, and then you like pick up the book that they're giving out. I finally found out like later the night, like the third night of BEA, and was it the third night or was it BookCon? It's all blur at this point. Well, I found out the night what the code was for Cruel Prince, so the day after I went there, very first thing, they didn't have anything left, so I said the code word that I heard about like that morning, and I ended up getting Fireblood. And then when it was all said and done, like after BookCon, someone's like, so I'm willing to trade this and a couple other things. I'm looking for Fireblood and a couple other things. I was like, hey, so I have Fireblood. Maybe we can make a deal. And we did. I just find it funny how it worked out. Next thing I have here, If There's No Tomorrow by Jennifer Armentrout. I had heard a lot of good things about this book. It's one of the popular ones, and I ended up not getting this at BEA and BookCon. After coming back from BEA and BookCon, I went to work, and during my break, someone had left this on the table, like in the break room. So I like picked it up, got super excited, and usually in the break room, if it's left on the table, like you can just take it because other things have been left there before, like food, other books. So I picked it up, and of course I had to ask every freaking librarian that was on shift that day, and like, hey, can I take this? Wait, I can? Are you sure? So I can't believe I got an ARC that was dropped at BEA and BookCon, not at BEA and BookCon. The next book I have to show you is Shadow of the Lions by Christopher Swan. I want to say I grabbed this while waiting in line for something. Pretty much that's how I got the majority of these books. I thought the cover was very cool. I don't know anything about the author. I don't know anything about this book. I just thought it was cool looking, which is pretty much the reasoning I had for a lot of these books. This next one is Watch Me Disappear by Janelle Brown. The concept actually sounds very cool. It sounds like a mystery, like a summer mystery. Ah, yes, I actually remember this. I just thought the title was very cool. A Secret History of Witches by Louisa Morian. I actually thought that maybe this was a nonfiction book when I grabbed it, but I think now that I've read the back, I think this is historical fiction. So I grabbed this one just to get out of my comfort zone a little bit. It's Lucky in Love by Casey West. She's the author of P.S. I Like You. I've never read anything by her. It obviously looks like a YA romance. At least, oh, sorry, almost dropped her. And I picked it up. It's like, all right, I'll give it a try. And as I was in my hotel room that night, the back says Pride and Prejudice Light. Readers after enjoyable beach romance won't go wrong with this. I'm like, wait, so this is basically summer modern Pride and Prejudice. I'm like, okay, yes, please. So I grabbed this one because I just love the way it looks. It's The Secret of the Nightingale Wood by Lucy Strange. I love the color scheme of this book. And it has, like, I don't know what you call it, but the uneven pages for non-corrected proof. Very pretty and interestingly bound. I guess that's the phrase I'm looking for. It's on sale in October, so I'm kind of hoping that this is a little on the creepy side. So I found this one and I picked it up after reading the back. It's The Last Man in Europe by Dennis Glover. It's a historical I was going to say historical romance. That's not it. It's a historical book about George Orwell. I've read 1984, excuse me. And not a huge fan of it. Sorry, not sorry. And I think a fictionalized retelling of his life sounds pretty interesting. I'm like being all willy-nilly. I hope you're actually seeing these covers. Next thing I have to show you is A Map for Wrecked Girls by Jessica Taylor. This book is actually about two sisters stuck in the woods, and it's really just a survival story. Alright, this next one was actually grabbed by my friend Aspiring Ashley. I kept grabbing a couple things, like extra things that I would give to her, and I think she felt like I think she was just being adorable and felt the need to reciprocate the favor, and she grabbed Gunslinger Girl by Lindsay Eli. And when I first saw the cover, it didn't look like something that I would really read. And then I did some Googling, and I guess this is like a Western, like Hunger Games type thing. Like the character is very much like Katniss Everdeen. Like the story isn't necessarily like the Hunger Games, but I'm like, okay, so we have a very strong female lead. I'll definitely give this a shot. So thank you, Ashley, if you're watching. I grabbed this one because the title just sounded really hilarious. 10 emerging technologies that will improve and or ruin everything. Soonish by Kelly and Zach Weinersmith. Just like that little things like this can either go really well or it can go really horrible. I'm like, that is my life's motto. I want to read this. The next thing I have here is a short history of the girl next door, and this really just seems to be like a modern romance from the guy's perspective, which I thought to be incredibly interesting because it's usually from the girl's perspective. And that's what made me like, you know what, okay, I'm not usually into romance, but I'll pick this up from your table. I'm not sure if I said the author's name, but the author's name is Jared Rick. I swear to God, if this is really sad, I feel like the next hashtag would be like, you're about to get wrecked. I know, not my best pun, but I try. Okay, so I got this, and I'm not even sure if I said this story in my BookCon vlog yet, because I haven't edited that yet at this point that I'm filming this video. So if I like say the story twice, sorry. What I have here is The Gilded Cage by Vic James. I want to say it's this one. I was in line for something. I want to say I was in line for Warcross. No, that was BEA. Couldn't tell you. I was in line waiting for something, and when I got out of it, I walked around Penguin Random House's booth, and because I knew they were dropping this right away. Sorry, we're out. Oh, okay then. And I was like, okay, well, thank you. And I smiled, and I was being super polite, and the woman took a long, hard look at me and went, hold on a second, follow me. She took this, oh my God, She took this off of their display case. I'm like, oh my god, it was such an incredibly nice thing to do. She didn't have to do that, and it totally made my day. So random penguin house worker, thank you so much. All right, the next thing I have here is Bonfire by Kristen Ritter. I actually grabbed this during BEA. They just happened to have it out, and so I grabbed it. I was like, you know what, I want to go to that signing by Kristen Ritter during BookCon, but I'm not sure if I was actually going to make it because I kept planning that I was going to do a bunch of things, and I had shown up so freaking early to the signing, but unlike Wonder Woman during BEA, they weren't letting anybody line up super early. I was trying to like hang around, but they kept shooing me away. I'm like, sorry, you can't wait here. Sorry, you can't wait here. And by the time it got closer and closer, people were crowding the booth. It was a mob. And I eventually went, you know what, I don't want this person's autograph so badly. I enjoyed her and Jessica Jones, but I don't want her autograph that much. So I just left. All right, the next thing I have here is Zero Repeat Forever by G.S. Prendergast. And this seems to be kind of like, there's a fantasy book that I've read recently. Kind of like, is it like Name of the Wind? I don't think so now that I'm thinking about it. But this is a fantasy novel. Next. This I grabbed because this sounds super cool. It's Code Girls, The Untold Story of the American Women Codebreakers of World War II by Liza Mundy. Oh cool, a history about awesome women, yes please. So this is a sampler that I wasn't entirely sure if I was going to keep. It is The Language of Thorns, Midnight Tales, and Dangerous Magic by Leigh Bardugo. And then I opened this and like, you know what, this looks kind of cute. And this looks like it's a bunch of short stories, not necessarily a one full novel. That's why I won't keep samplers. I hate like starting a story and not finishing it. So I don't read samplers at all. So I'm kind of hoping this is a bunch of short stories. All right, so this next thing I grabbed because the packaging was just super awesome. We have the spelling book, a complete guide to the, if I can read it, to the, I can't read it, it's a Scribble Magical World. Something Magical World, so this is the magic book by Cressida Cowell, I think. And I really hope that this is a standalone because it says internationally best-selling author Cressida Cowell returns. So I really hope this is actually a standalone, or at least a first book in a series. So we have the book thing, and then it opens. We have some marketing materials, but when you open it, we have the book, and then like a little map type thing. Cover isn't final yet. Just look at that, like the promotional stuff that went into this book. I'm like, okay, I have to read this because this looks magical. And I think this is not quite YA, but not quite kidlit. I think this is middle grade, but I'm not entirely sure on that. Oh good, it is the first book. The exciting first story in a magical new adventure series from Cressida Cowell. Okay, I'm just going to keep it in the box because I really like the box. This book I actually heard about before BEA and BookCon as a librarian's assistant. There are some like promotional materials in the back, like I said, like that arc there. And there's like a little poster saying, these are books that librarians are loving. And I saw this one and the cover caught my attention. It just looks very, very magical, very whimsical. It's The Walking Land by Callie Bates. All she is loyal to must now, all she is loyal to she must now destroy. That doesn't make sense still. But it's a fantasy book and it seems like almost like the Morgana storyline from Merlin, which I thought was very cool. All right, the next thing I have to show you is another thing I got at that author breakfast that I talked about in my vlog videos. And it's I'm Fine and Other Lies by Whitney Cummings. She was pretty much the host to this breakfast. She would introduce everybody and had a little speech before everybody, and she was very funny. And this seems to be kind of in that kind of shtick, just very funny nonfiction. So I'm looking forward to this. The next thing I have to show you is Release by Patrick Ness. When I waited in this line to pick this up, they like gave you an option. It was like this one or something else. And I was like, oh really? I can't just pick both? And I'm like, sorry, no, only one. And I picked this one simply because I thought the cover was kind of cool. I think this is more of a contemporary read. Yep, this just seems like a contemporary, like coming of age sort of tale. Okay, now I have Nixia, Every Life Has a Price by Scott Rentgen. I don't think I pronounced that right. This looks like kind of like a space odyssey type thing, or at least that's what the cover looks like. Now I have Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ning. I think that's how you pronounce her last name. They were advertising this book everywhere at BEA and BookCon. She had this giant banner in the middle of the lobby, and I was like, you know what, if I can grab it, I'm gonna grab it. This doesn't say the year, but the way like the back is written, it doesn't really sound like it's a very modern story, probably set within the last like 30 or 40 years or so. It takes place in a nice quiet town, and the main character tries to adopt a Chinese American baby, and this giant custody battle erupts. So sounds like this is going to be full of drama. Now we have A Girl in a Bad Place by Caitlin Ward. This just looks to be kind of very, I read the back and it sounds like it's going to be kind of like psychological, and it sounds very interesting. And I think I won't read this until like closer to the end of summer when we start getting into fall sort of things. I'm going to try to hurry this up along because I just realized I've been filming for 40 minutes and this one's such a long video. This next thing I actually got through a trade through the BookCon app. This was like the last thing being dropped, at least on my schedule at BookCon, and I was so exhausted I actually completely forgot about this. I went straight to that Kristen Ritter signing. Obviously I didn't even get her book, but I can't believe I forgot about this. It's An Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson, and I just wanted to try to grab every possible like fantasy book I could. It sounds really cool. Every enchantment has a price, so it kind of has that little like Rumpelstiltskin type of nod to the story. And once I realized after BookCon that I forgot it, I was a little bummed. And then I saw that someone was willing to trade for this. I ended up trading Vanilla, I don't remember the name of the author, and a She Persisted tote bag for this. And I think it was a very good trade. And the girl was super nice. I realized as I was going through these books to make sure like what signed and what wasn't, she put in a little post-it note saying enjoy. I'm like, okay, I will. Alright, and now we have The Ready-Made Thief by Augustus Rose. I just trying to grab anything that might, you know, stretch me out of my comfort zone. Obviously I read a lot of fantasy and a lot of sci-fi, and I've been reading more nonfiction now, like more so biographies and like YA contemporary sort of stuff. And I want to say this is adult lit, and I don't read a whole lot of adult lit, so I grabbed it, and I think this is a mystery novel as well. Next thing I have is Otherworld by Jason Segel and Kristen Miller, and I grabbed it simply because of Jason Segel. I was like, or is it Segel? I can never remember how it's supposed to be pronounced. I was like, okay, so this looks like to be a sci-fi type thing, and then when I saw Jason Segel, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll grab it. But the back sounds really cool too. There are no screens, no controls, you don't see and hear, you just taste, smell, and touch. And that just sounds very cool. And also in this new reality, there are no laws to break or rules to obey. You can live your best life and indulge every desire. This sounds like this is going to get very, very intense very quickly, and I'm here for it. Okay, the next thing I have here is Jade City by Fonda Lee. The tagline is what got me. Family is duty, magic is power, and honor is everything. So this just sounds like very Gryffindor-centric type of story. And the cover is kind of cool. And the last random arc that I have, and then we'll move on to the next thing that I have to show you, is The Unlikelies by Carrie Firestone. It just looks like a cool, cute, contemporary, like summer read. Alright, so that's all the arcs I have to show you. I'm not going to show you all the things that I bought, which is a much smaller pile. I promise. And just like random like other swag things that I grabbed. Like we'll start with the totes. I have a bookish totes. It's just a plain black tote. This tote and a couple other totes I'm going to show you as well. I plan on turning these into pillows, and I think I'm going to turn that into a video. The other tote that I plan on turning into a pillow is this owl crate tote. I love owls, and I think this would make a really cute pillow. And then we have the owl crate hashtag in the back. And this is a tote that my mother-in-law grabbed, and I find it so hilarious. I'm making it into a pillow. It's The People We Hate at the Wedding. This tote I'm currently using. I freaking fell in love with this tote. It's one of those crossbody, like longer totes, and it's a certified bookworm, or book nerd rather. It's a crossbody messenger bag, and as soon as I saw someone walking around with it at the convention, I was like, where can I find that? I want that bag, and I've used it every day since I've been back. Freaking love this thing. This is another bag that I saw that I really liked and wanted to grab. And it's this like Jimmy Patterson tote. We want every kid to say, please give me another book. It has the really deep pockets on the sides. That's what the front looks like. Hopefully you can actually see these bags. I don't know how my thing is framed. I still haven't had my forward facing camera fixed yet. This just seems like a really great sort of like beach bag. And then Underline. Underline gave away these very cool items that everyone actually waited in line for. I'm like, can't believe people are waiting in line for like giveaways. We have Totes books. This is a canvas type bag, and as you can see, I used it a little bit, and so we have these black marks all over it. This little pouch thing that I've been using inside my little book nerd bag. It's book stuff. I try to keep these like pouch type things in my purse because they'll hold stuff that I don't necessarily want just floating in the bag, like my hairbrush, some mints, an extra lady product. I have a Tide pen in here. It's obvious that I have young kids in my life, even though I'm not a mom, because I try to like over prepare for anything. And this other item that Underline was giving away is this little like portable like battery charger type thing. And the last thing that Underline was giving away was this beach towel. Not sure how well you're going to see it. Basically says, don't get my books wet, in really giant font letters. Haven't used it yet. I plan on it. It's very soft. Right now in this Totes books bag, I just have all the giveaways that I've been kind of grabbing. The Lee Bardugo table that was giving away the sampler also had like this little photo booth type thing. Not sure how well you can see that, but it's hilarious. Had a great time at that booth, even though it was by myself. Ashley gave me her little bookmark. She didn't have business cards, she had bookmarks, which I thought was such a cute little touch. BEA and BookCon, no one was actually networking, which I thought was weird. And I think because I didn't find a whole lot of booktubers, it's because the whole drama that's been going on around booktubers at BEA and BookCon. And of course, I have pins. A convention just isn't the same without pins. I have Read with Pride. Somebody shove a book in my face now. We have my pass and the lanyard that I brought. My BEA pass. Last year I got an out of print $50 gift card and I bought that again this year. The out of print booth sells these for half price if you show up to their booth, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, that's a sale that's worth it to me, so I don't mind buying the gift card. And again, I might do like a separate video for that, like I did last year. We have a Bookified on Etsy pin. This person actually writes boyfriend letters from your favorite fictional boyfriends. And I actually went to her booth and I won a little letter, so we're just going to open this up right now. It's from Newt Scamander. Yes, it is Bookified. She's actually from Cambridge. She's from my area. Oh, some lovely... She writes really nice. Look at that. Oh, it's not necessarily a letter from a boyfriend to a girlfriend. It's like, dearest mother. Well, not quite what I was hoping, but okay. But it's even dated from 1926. Basically saying, you know, I've reached New York safely. This is so cute. I bought a couple things at different booths because I wanted something that said BookCon on it, and when I couldn't, I like splurged. And now we have a My Second BookCon pin and My Second BookExpo. The main people were giving these away, and you're supposed to fill in like what year it was for you, and I put in 2017 so I could save it as a souvenir. Little feminist patch. Not only do I love pens, but I love patches, and I got super excited when I found this thing. Now I just need to get something that I want to put all my patches on. I'm like torn from just keeping them up with the rest of my pins or actually putting them on a piece of clothing. We have The Sun Is Also a Star pin set. This is my favorite freaking pin. The Latin saying from The Handmaid's Tale, don't let the bastards grind you down. Little Harry Potter pin that I got from Bookified. Just all these different pins. Freaking love pins, so I went a little crazy with them. Did I show you this pen yet? I feel like I'm just randomly showing you pins. And for those who don't know, I actually just put up all my pins on my Gryffindor tapestry. So Gryffindor is almost being like surrounded by pins at this point. And oh, it's upside down. I don't even know if you're seeing these because I don't know how well my phone camera focuses. So I could just be wasting my time right now. More pins. Practically wallpaper my living room in pins. And the last thing I have, oh, I was going to say the last thing I have to show you, but the last thing in this bag to show you is just a bunch of stickers that I also grabbed. I usually like to stick my stickers on my laptop. That's usually where I like to keep them, but my laptop is slowly dying. Whenever I turn it on, it kind of like pixelates, so I think I need to get a new laptop. This is my favorite sticker that I got. Professional Book Talker. I almost wish this was a patch or a pin so I can like keep it forever. YA fiction is my addiction, which I thought was very cute. And other little This Is Publishing stickers. Alright, last sticker. I got this mug. If you were a book, you'd be fine print. And saying like that amused me so much that I just had to buy this stinking thing. I don't need a mug. I have plenty of mugs, but I just had to. And then at the same booth that I got the mug, got this t-shirt. My weekend is all booked. The booth had plenty of really awesome looking t-shirts. I grabbed this one because it had purple in it. And purple's my favorite color, to those who don't know. Alright, so I have a small stack of books I'm going to show you because they weren't ARCs. Some of them I got them for free even though they weren't ARCs, and some of these I paid for. It's a very small pile. We're almost towards the end. If you're still here, bless you. I have The Bone Witch by Rin Jupeco, if I'm pronouncing that right. Like, the cover is just really awesome. I know that I want to say this is a YA book. And I also got Labyrinth Lost by Zoraida Cordova. I keep seeing this at the teen festivals that I've been going to, so I was like, you know what? Sure, why not? I'll give this a try. This is a book that Aspiring Ashley gave me. She was giving this away on her Facebook page, and I was like, yeah, I totally want this. And it's Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard by Rick Riordan. Remember in the beginning of the video, like 50 years ago, I said, so I bought this Sarah Dessen book for my mother-in-law because I didn't think she was going to get it. I wouldn't let her pay me back for it. So while we were looking around at the booths and they were selling stuff, I saw these babies. We have a Tokens World coloring book, and we have a token, a dot to dot of token. It's basically, it's connect the dots. It's very cool. And they were selling these relatively cheap, and it was a deal if you bought 2 of them. And I didn't have any cash on me. Like, the deal was if you had cash on you, you could have gotten like the discounted price. I didn't have any cash on me, so my mother-in-law offered to pay for it. And I was like, yeah, I'll Venmo you. And as she's paying for it, it dawned on me. It's like, you're not going to let me give you money, are you? Nope. And that's how she got me back for paying for a Sarah Dessen book. This is Maud by Melanie Fishbane. And this is kind of like an Anne of Green Gables sort of story. It says, for the first time ever, a novel about the teen years of the author who brought us Anne of Green Gables. And I think this is the last thing I have to show you. We're at the end. It is The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. I thought this was an ARC when I grabbed it. It says BookCon 2017 promotional copy, but there's nothing on it that says it's an ARC. That's an advanced reader copy. You can't sell it. And I don't think it is an advanced reader's copy because this is national bestseller. So I think this is just a bunch of paperbacks that they had that they're giving away. But the story sounds very cute. Takes place in a Russian wilderness, and I think this is going to be a really awesome book to read during like the beginnings of the Christmas season when you're not quite ready for Christmas stuff. So it is done. It is finished. It's everything that I have to show you from being BookCon. If you're still here, you guys get a gold star. And I cannot believe y'all like really long videos, because I guess that's the thing now. But with me, once it hits past 15 minutes, I'm not usually interested in watching a video. So I cannot believe longer videos are becoming a thing now. But you do you guys. Again, I'm actually going to write down like the starting points for each little section down in the description box below. We're going to have the autographed books first, and then regular ARCs, and then swag, and then things that I bought, all down in the doobly-doo below. And that way you can come and go as you see fit. Well, I hope you guys actually enjoyed this super long video. I'm going to set up my bookshelves now that I finally showed you what I have. If you'd like to see that video, hit that like button down below and let me know down in the comments. As always, I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye guys! Okay, so I was putting everything away. I was like, yes, I'm done. I can finally go to bed. And I cannot believe I forgot one of the best things. It's a signed poster that I got from Limiting Snicket. This was what he was signing in the autograph area. And this was the book that he was advertising, The Bad Mood and the Stick. And he got a little funny. Apparently I'm the one in the bad mood. And this was just a random Hulk poster, which isn't really staying. There we go. We'll use a pillow. And that's the other poster. Well, this one's my favorite, and I can't believe I forgot that. Alright, well the video is actually done now, so goodbye!